Hey guys, welcome to my channel. First of all, first and foremost, shout out to y'all that do this solo. Like y'all the light person, y'all the cameraman, like y'all the angle person, the designer. Like this whole setup in my living room by myself, have mercy. But I'm proud of myself. I'm here and I'm ready for y'all. Thank you guys so much in advance for subscribing. Thank you guys so much for your support. I'm so excited to do this, but nervous at the same time. Like I'm never really in front of the camera like that, but this is gonna be a new journey. This is gonna be a new adventure. It was kind of about time anyway. I always thought about doing like a YouTube channel. I'm always on YouTube. I'm always watching the girlies with their clean with me videos, they get ready with me videos, their beauty skincare routines. Love those. And like travel blogs, like I probably watch YouTube more than like regular TV or like Netflix, Hulu and things like that. So it was a time coming. Like I'm stepping out into like this new dimension of my life, and it's also a forced stepping out too, because my life has changed so much ever since moving out of New York City a few years ago, and then again with the recent event that happened about a month ago. So here we are, stepping into the new, being a creative, but most importantly, having fun. So thank you guys so much in advance for even like rocking with your girl. So yes, let me officially introduce myself. My name is Shanelle Robinson and I'm 34 years old. I was born and raised in the South Boogie Down Bronx, and now I reside in Washington, D.C. I'm a HBCU grad. I'm also an MBA graduate. I'm a Jesus lover. I am a traveler. I am a lover of all things skincare and beauty, but also a tomboy at the same time. I'm an ambitious person, definitely determined and goal-oriented. I work in real estate, even though my degree is not in real estate and it should have been. That's another story for another time. But yeah, and I've been working in real estate for about 10 years now. And yeah, currently just trying to figure out like what I'm doing next in my life. Due to recent events, I kind of had the opportunity to just sit, think, revamp, rewrite, and just fully understand God's purpose for my life and like what I'm going to be doing in the next. So yeah, right now I'm just happy to be here and really start this like YouTube journey and see like where it goes. So yeah, for YouTube, I chose the 4 categories: faith, lifestyle, travel, and real estate, to kind of just sum up just like my total life. Those are just good categories that can like just branch out into a lot of talking points and just a lot of like videos and content and just creative spaces. So yeah, off the bat, just like faith, that's like the most important to me. And really being in alignment with my purpose is like extremely important, because at one point in my life I wasn't, and yeah, that wasn't like fun. I was really like in a space trying to figure out like, what am I doing? Like why am I, why was I created and what am I supposed to be doing like in the earth? So that's one of the reasons why I kind of like moved out of New York City. I was kind of like being nudged and pushed to do it a few years ago. And I remember I just like took the plunge like in 2018 and just kind of like stepped back from church and stepped back from like friends and family a little bit too. And just kind of like just had a season, and still in the season of just letting it be just me and God right now. so I can fully understand like doing things and let it happen like a purpose, and making sure like nothing is done in vain. Because I truly feel like if you operate outside of purpose, you know, you are doing things that may frustrate you, doing things that just doesn't make sense, and you're waking up aggravated, waking up upset, or doing things like, you know, not your full 100% self. So that kind of like started my journey outside of moving out of New York City, and, you know, moving out of my hometown and really being outside of like my comfort zone. So yeah, it's just a season between me and God right now, and it's been a journey. It's been interesting. Almost 4 years now. Yeah, I moved out in 2019. Yeah, so almost 4 years now. And you would think like following God and following your purpose, you will, you know, it'll be like smooth transitions. Things will be like more calm. And it's like, God is like, oh, okay, yeah, come follow me. And, you know, you're like, okay, but baby, the past few years have been definitely like fun, definitely eye-opening, but challenging like at the same time. And I think it was just, I was going through like a full transition of getting rid of old habits, creating new, healthier habits. I started therapy a couple of years ago, and just coming into like this new revamped like womanhood, and really understanding and having like, you know, and asking for wisdom and just clarity on things and how things are going like in my life. So yeah, it's been a journey, a purpose driven journey that has its like calms, and then it's, well, I would say it has its valleys and has its mountains, but it's definitely been like a worthwhile decision in only doing what God has like really called me to do. If it doesn't align with my purpose, and if it's not in His will, like I'm not the person to like really just, oh, let me go see for myself type of thing. Like I can't do that. I can't afford to like backtrack. So, but yeah, it's been fun. Definitely, like I said, challenging, but rewarding at the same time. So yeah, one of the ways I wanted to use YouTube to kind of be like beneficial for me is something I've learned in therapy that I am like working on and definitely find challenging, is like direct communication. I'm definitely the type of person to like hold things in. And sometimes when it does come out, it's just like wrong and strong. But definitely find like healthy ways to like communicate, and definitely find healthy ways to like find my voice, kind of like find my footing. My mom always tells me like I'm gifted in like wisdom and, you know, just advice, and, you know, trying to be, you know, of a sound mind. And it's crazy because like actually one of the things like I always pray for. So, you know, I always pray for like wisdom and just clarity and understanding. So, you know, if you're talking to people and you want to hold good conversation, you also want your words to be soft-spoken and like, how would I describe it? Just, you know, for that person too. You know, like some people really have a difficult time like expressing themselves, as would I. So, you know, always be that safe space to offer advice and receive advice, like, and internalize it, and being able to like communicate, you know, with my friends and family. So yeah, it's one of my takeaways I want from YouTube, and just seeing like where like my thought processes go, like where my creative space goes. And yeah, let's see what God has in store. So yeah, let's get into another reason why I started YouTube, but I want to say like this was reason numero uno. So yeah, I'm gonna try to explain the story without getting triggered, so bear with me. So backtrack a little bit. As I told y'all before, I was living in Florida. I was there for like 2.5 years. And the last year to year and a half, it was getting like real weird, like in the workplace. Like the people I was working with, Just, like when it's your time to leave, like random stuff, like when it's your time to like leave a job or like go on to the next, like random things just really start happening like in your current workspace. And like I feel like the enemy was just like throwing daggers, just trying to like knock me off course and throwing daggers like in terms of like people that I was like working with. And so I was like applying out, and I remembered I was applying out. I had an interview for a good year straight from December 2020 to December 2021. I had like an interview every month because I was like ready to like leave my job. It was that, or I was like fighting somebody for real. Like it was getting bad. My patience was being tested. I was definitely like being challenged, but I stayed the course. I was applying out and getting frustrated because I was literally going on interviews like every month, and like nothing was biting. Nothing was literally going to interviews 1 to 2 like a month, and nothing was happening. So finally I was like, all right, God, like where do you want me to go? What's happening? Like clearly I'm an asset to like different companies, but like nothing is biting. So when I finally said that, and on my birthday in 2021, I wrote down like a list of goals of what I wanted to accomplish and what I wanted to do like in the next year. And I was like savings and finding like new work and things of that nature. And when I finally like prayed that prayer, and I finally just asked God, like, okay, what do you want me to do? And then the doors opened for me to come to New York. I was hired by a tech company, and had like relocation funds given to me, sign-on bonus. Definitely was being paid much more, which I was so grateful for, because I definitely wanted to like really started like saving and just putting money aside and becoming like more financially literate. And amazing opportunity working for this tech company. And I started that job last year, January of 2022. And about 6 months in, a lot of the higher ups that were of color like started leaving like back to back. And it was weird because on my team there was only but 3 of us that were of color, hence DEI initiatives, and that's another story for another time. But yeah, we're noticing like people moving, people shaking, things being like done under the radar, but in front of people's faces at the same time, type of thing. And I was like, okay, I wonder why everyone's, the higher ups of color were leaving like that. And with inflation and recession kind of starting like really being prominent like last year, a lot of people were just trying to, I guess, stay ahead of what was coming. So a lot of big tech companies went through layoffs starting last year. And I don't remember if my tech company did, I'm not sure. But I was just still doing my work, keeping my head low, but also noticing that one of my managers was kind of playing favorites a little bit, and moving people like on our team into different positions. And so when I started seeing that happen, like in my bird's eye view, I was like, what's happening? So it wasn't until, and it wasn't like I had the option to leave or like know like what was about to happen and then have like the opportunity to go to like a different position or a different team. I was only there for what at this time like 6 to 8 months. So usually after a year, I'm looking into other opportunities and positions, within the company. So I was giving myself like a year. And fast forward, Aruba, If you follow me on Instagram and you see my reel, like I was in Aruba for 10 days. I left New Year's Eve, came back January 10th. And while I was there, I was remote, and my manager like threw on our calendars a random meeting, and he went on to explain in the meeting like how he was moving out of his role and going into a different position, aka saving himself for what was coming down the pipeline. So we were like, okay. At this time, there was a set date for my company's layoffs, and I wasn't really nervous about it, but it was concerning at the same time. I was like, whatever it is, let it be, and yeah, kind of just like, it is what it is. That's when I really started like looking into other positions too, because I was like, well, if you're gonna have like this like hanging over our heads, and say if I don't get my role eliminated, I still just for comfort reasons, I still want to like look into like other positions. So yes, I get back from Aruba January 10th, and January 18th, there's this email that comes out company-wide, like letting people know like, hey, this is what's about to happen. People on your staff will be notified, that they will, that their roles will be eliminated, and they will be ceasing work effective immediately. So I saw that email, and I was like, okay. An hour later, my email comes. And I'm like, this can't be real. Like, this can't, like, what, like, why, who, what, when, where, like, how did we derive to like this decision? And it wasn't even like a cocky or like an arrogant, like, how can they lay me off type of thing. I really just wanted a why, especially seeing what I have seen, and people being pivoted into positions to kind of like save themselves, and like my manager, kind of having like a finger in, that as well. And I felt like I was just left, out for the wolves. And I remember like that day, I went through a wave of emotions. Like once the email came, I remember I was like crying, and I was just like so emotional and so upset. I'm like pacing back and forth like in my apartment, and I was just like, oh my goodness. But I was also grateful at the same time, because I just really understand like when God really gives you a no, or like ends things in your season, like it is for a good solid reason. And I always pray for like not being attached to things that I'm not supposed to be attached to. So I was grateful, even though emotional at the same time, that if it was my time to like, after the year, the good solid year, to like go on, then so be it. But I was so emotional too, because it was so like abrupt, and just like almost cutthroat a little bit too, because I was like, wow, like effective, like no working like at all, effective like immediately, excuse me. And so I was like, I literally woke up one morning and like that was it. And so the email like entailed like what we needed to do as far as like maintaining communications from our personal cell phones, or like personal laptops, because they were going to reduce permissions like on our work laptops. And they did not lie about that. Like a few hours later, I was getting like alerts that my permissions were reduced, and then by the next day I couldn't even like log on to my computer. Like that's how quick everything was. And that day was just it was so crazy, right? Because I was sitting there, like when I got the email, I was crying. By noon, 1 o'clock, like I was laughing. By that afternoon, I was pissed. I was like, nah, who's responsible? I was like, who's responsible? Like, I need answers. I need a why. And like I said, it wasn't like a cocky thing or like an arrogant thing, like, oh, why they got rid of me. I'm just like, when you're working for a company like that, everything is done virtually and on the computer, and I just needed some type of like human interaction and, you know, just some type of closure, so to speak. So yeah, here we are, a month later, really enjoying not answering to anyone. You know, one of the blessings in this situation right now is understanding how God and seeing how God has and is sustaining me. Normally when people are laid off or their role is terminated, it's like effective immediately and you don't get to continue to be on payroll, let alone a severance package. And 9 times out of 10, people don't really have like a savings, you know, to last them for like a couple of months until, you know, their next, you know, employment. So I have those 3 basically. So the terms in the being laid off was to remain on payroll for a couple of months, and then the severance pay, and then I have my own personal savings. So I'm really in a space right now where God has sustained me, and I can absolutely just totally focus on what I need to be doing. And that is studying for my real estate license. That is, you know, morphing and creating like my YouTube channel, and just focusing on just me like in this season. So it is weird to like wake up and not, you know, have a meeting scheduled, or, you know, hey, Shanelle, can you run this report? And, you know, like tasks, you know, daily working tasks. But it is an experience to like really be going through right now, because I don't answer to anybody but God right now. So yeah, it's been interesting 30 days, just navigating my emotions and staying focused. Yeah, just studying for my real estate license, beginning this YouTube channel, and working on like creating like a solid routine, because that's something like I do struggle with, especially like in the mornings. I want to be able to get up in the morning, work out, you know, and have like a set schedule. So that's kind of like what I'm working on. No longer try to say like my role was eliminated or I was laid off. I'm saying like I'm in between blessings right now, really enjoying like a new level of peace, so to speak. You know, like I don't have to answer to anyone like in the workplace right now. I don't have to like run a report. I don't need to like be on a meeting. Just really existing like for myself. And it's so funny how that this situation really just happened, because I was telling someone like you don't really get to be in a space where you're still getting paid and you're not working. Got a package at the door. But yeah, like just being just still being on payroll and not working, and just understanding what you need to do right now. So as scary as this unknown is, I'm just so excited as to like what's to come in my life. I have no idea like what's next, but during this transitional period, I have been applying out, obviously looking for jobs that make a little bit more money, obviously. Definitely having on my resume who I used to work for, it definitely has like its perks, and just looking to see, where I go like in the next. My prayers still remain as far as what I look for in a work environment and like who I need to be connected to. But I will start being a little bit more specific now, because I do recognize that I have encountered the same type of person like in my last 3 jobs. Like the role like this guy played in maneuvering people and favorites and kind of just like setting me up to be out in the wolves, it's the same type of spirit from my previous job, where like this person didn't want to help me at all, and just just being like just evil person. So I'm be a little bit more specific, because it's not fun working with people like that, where you really just come to a job and you're just doing what you needed to do, and you're just like in your own lane and you're confident in your own lane, and then you walk into a space and then people are just like intimidated by you, or you know, their insecurities just starts coming up, and you know, they just start acting weird and doing like foolish things and don't want to be a team player, or you know, in my previous case, like have that power and leadership to do what you want to do, like with your favorites. So I definitely, you know, just looking for a different kind of like work environment. And then also just very excited for like to take this license exam, and working like in a residential space as well. So yeah, and having like another, you know, form of income, and you know, just succeeding at that, and being an overall like real estate professional. I think that is so rewarding in itself. As you know, if you work in real estate, like there's no cap to like how much you can ever make. And I've been working in the transaction space for a while, so it's always like a salary, you know, type of position. But you know, now going for like my license and like having like additional income, and being more of a real estate entrepreneur and creating like my own business. So I'm definitely excited in like doing that and seeing like where that takes me, and just keeping that mindset, you know, just not always depending on someone for income, like creating like my own lane, my own business, and like my own like niche, you know, and making it profitable. So I'm excited for that. And I'm also looking forward to like what I come up with my YouTube channel. Best believe there's gonna be travel vlogs coming, skincare products coming. Skincare products, well, you never know, I may create a skincare product, but just like, you know, my hauls and like what I get like from my skincare routine, like my beauty routine, and just like romanticizing like my life, and just creating just a life that I deserve and that I want, and that I really see, you know, like in my dreams and in my visions, and just being the most successful person, like, you know, I know. So I'm definitely curious and optimistic and so positive about this new journey in my life, and welcome you guys. Come on in the room. We're gonna have so much fun. I'm a turn up person. I'm also a turn down person too. You know, I need a few days to kind of like recalibrate. But it's gonna be a good time over here. Like, come join me. We're gonna have chit chats. We're gonna have powwows. If you know me, I'm a little bit of a deep person too. So we're gonna get to the nitty gritty on some topics that, you know, come to mind, and really just like remove layers and navigate like this crazy world, and just build a community where we can be in a safe space and talk and powwow and like build each other up. So y'all subscribe, y'all like, y'all comment, y'all share, stick with your girl. But thank you guys so much again for supporting me, and being in my corner. This is new for me. I probably was like stuttering and voice crackling throughout the whole video. But I definitely can see myself getting like a little bit more comfortable, and just creating like some good, dope content. So y'all stick around, and I love y'all. Peace.